Oh, so maybe it's not a problem with his family to do with
Maybe.
this because they're inviting her.
His
I hope
mum's
it's not.
sisters find it weird.
Oh.
Sorry to burst your bubble there.
Oh, no, you can't do this. I don't care if we're related. You can go away.
Say it louder, Jamie. The people.
I
in the
don't
back.
care if we're related.
I'm kidding. But
I'm
like,
like,
if
no, I
someone
don't
else
wanna
has
say
stirred
it.
the pot, then that honesty is going to consummate the pot. You are clearing that broth, baby. Go with my metaphor.
You are both just being incredibly stubborn, and I am annoyed at both of you.
Go to your room, parents.
Yes. You're through to 1-800-DRAMA,
The show where you share your biggest dilemmas.
and we help you navigate them.
I'm Shaaba.
And I'm Jamie,
Come join us as we help people figure out if they are the drama.
because sometimes you just need an outside perspective.
And we can all expand our own mindsets along the way.
Wait, am I the drama? Red flag, green flag, Shaaba.
Hit me.
Having no toilet boundaries with your partner that you live with.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Here's my thinking. I don't have the toilet boundaries. We
don't have
the
no
toilet
boundaries.
But I don't judge people who do. Am I green flagging everyone else, or am I red flagging myself?
Or are we just amber flagging toilets?
No. Everybody poops. It's fine.
I was thinking of the Bob's Burgers. Bad things happen.
In the bathroom.
Thank you.
I green flag both. Can we do that? Is that allowed? Is that the rules?
Yeah, we can do a joint green flag because I think
Green
I
flags all round.
agree with you. Do you know today I'm a walking green flag?
How very Oprah.
Because my t-shirt is green.
You get a green flag. And you get a green flag.
I think you do you.
I was just speaking to Rolly about this, and he was very disgusted to hear. He actually called me disgusting and vile for saying that that's what we do. He would never poop with the door open in a relationship.
Really?
Yeah. Some people just are like that.
Yeah, sure.
I get it.
I'm not red flagging it. I don't get it, but I accept it.
I think I have too much FOMO
We,
to red flag that.
if we're having a conversation, it doesn't stop if one of us has to go to the toilet.
No, it's just a change of environment. It's a different scene, isn't it? But you know, it's the same script. You gotta keep rolling.
Sorry, I was just thinking about how it literally happened today.
Anything new? What's happening in shaabaandjamie land?
In shaabaandjamie land,
By the time you're watching this, Peaches and Spuds, we have come back from our US tour.
we'll be back from US tour.
Manifesting it's gone really well.
Deep into Pride Month.
And manifesting there's not too much jet lag. Yes, I'm so excited for Pride Month. Pride this year is going to be great.
Talking of Pride this year, we have a fun little thing going on for Pride.
We do?
For June, yes, we do. We have a little mini pud.
Oh, of course, your little bird.
The mini pud keychain is
Yes, he's very cute.
out. If you don't know what we're talking about, Pud is an adorable little plushie with a trans egg, and he now is out in miniature, available until the 3rd of July.
You said that so, like, radio hosty. Terms
Yeah.
and conditions apply.
I was channeling my inner radio host.
We designed gorgeous Pud. He's super cute. He's this little yellow dinosaur. He now comes in absolutely tiny form. I'm obsessed with him. He's super cute. Not only is he cute, he's also doing good things.
Yes, 10% of the proceeds of the sale of Little Pud will go towards the Trevor Project, an amazing LGBT plus charity. So if you want to, then go check out the link.
I also believe that he comes with the most adorable tiny progress flag as a cape.
Yeah.
Going very anti-Edna mode there, but I'm here for it. Pud, I excuse you.
You are allowed a cape.
You are allowed a progress flag.
Yeah.
Oh, drama.
Are you ready, Shaaba?
To go fishing. Oh, for
For
some
some
assholes.
asshole. Oh no, I did it.
I've converted him. He has come to the dark side.
I was just copying you. Am I the drama, Shaaba, for
Yes.
always?
Always, yes.
Am I the drama for always joining in with my fiance's mum and sisters for mother-daughter days?
Oh.
Huh?
Wait, so who are you? Fiance?
Fiancé.
So daughter-in-law to mum, sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I see it. I understand the context. I, a 24-year-old woman, am engaged to Jace, a 25-year-old man. Jace,
Okay.
by the way, is a beautiful name. I haven't heard of Jace before.
Not-
I like Jace.
Not dissing it, not for me personally.
Jace, as in, I was going to say Mace.
Jason.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, you're right. Not as keen on Jason, but I do like Jace.
I don't like Jace. Sorry.
Anyway, we met in college 6 years ago and we quickly fell in love. Aww. I met his family who are all so nice and quickly bonded really well with them. His family are aware that I don't have that kind of closeness with my own family and that there's always been a feeling of sadness for me when I think about my biological family.
Oh.
There. You okay?
What? No, I was just sad.
Where did your head go?
I was like, where is this story going? And then it's sad, so it's building a bit of context about why OP joins in on certain days with her fiance's family.
It's sad though that it's now the drama post because Clearly it's gone wrong somewhere.
Oh dear.
Let's see. I was the youngest of 4, says OP, and the only girl.
Okay.
So 3 older brothers. That's a lot. 1 older brother's a lot. 3 is a lot.
That's no biscuits for you because they've eaten them all.
A lot of people assumed when they saw me with my family that my mum really wanted a daughter and kept trying for one until she got me.
Oh, that does happen.
Yeah, it does. I was going to say, like, is that a weird assumption? Like, I guess I'd feel really offended if I was the other brothers. Because I'd be like, oh, I'm not wanted.
I'm only here because they hoped I was a girl. Yeah. I've seen a family on TikTok, and I don't know if they're joking or exaggerating, but they have like 9 or 10 kids.
Oh,
and it was
wow,
like, my husband really wanted a boy. And then it's like, girl, 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 girl. And now like the 9th or 10th kid, whatever number they're on now, their most recent was the first boy.
Wow.
And I was like, were they just trying till they had a boy?
And then do you stop at that point?
Yeah, when do you decide? But when do you maybe call it quits before that?
Yeah.
Before you have 10 children, which is a lot. Anyway,
they assumed I was the treasured baby sister who had big brothers and a dad who looked out for her and protected her, but my mum only wanted boys.
Oh.
I was an unhappy accident when my dad's vasectomy failed.
That's so rare.
This is so sad. And this is so sad that OP knows that.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not something a kid should know, personally.
No, not at all. Unhappy accident is such a sad phrase as well. Oh no, I'm sorry, OP. Mum prepared for another boy and got me. She heavily favoured my brothers and they took after her in mostly ignoring me. This is so sad. I wasn't neglected physically, but emotionally I was. My dad was always working. He wasn't really home during the daytime. Throughout the week, and when he was home, he was either tired or busy working on projects around the house. He was slightly more attentive than my mum was.
I don't understand.
But only just. OP says, my brothers would often say that it was just the 3 of them. My mum referred to herself as a boy mum and never did anything mother-daughter with me.
I don't understand this.
Why would you have a child if this is how you're going to treat them?
I mean,
it's so sad. Like, why is gender that important? Is this a toxic boy mum trait?
I don't know if it's a toxic boy mum trait to have a daughter that you ignore, but
to have a daughter and be like, ugh, and then just not want anything to do with her.
There is a big thing about like toxic boy mums who are just obsessed with their sons in a very uncomfortable way.
Maybe that's what's happening. And like OP's sort of like been left at the wayside. Oh, I kind of like in that movie, you know, with the voices in a little basket with that song that my mum has a ringtone.
Oh,
there can be miracles.
Yeah, I know the song, but not the theme.
When you believe.
Okay.
The hope is
Shaaba.
failed. Okay, it's hard to kill.
Shaaba.
As a young kid, I cut my hair up short to look more like a boy, and I dressed in boys' clothes. How very Mulan. Mum would roll her eyes at me and dismiss me. My dad would sometimes yell at my mum if she took my brothers out without me, but he would never try to make up for it by doing stuff with me. He was also mad when my brothers and mum didn't show for my high school graduation.
No, this is
like full-on neglect. The fact that a gender preference would go this far.
No.
Speechless.
What? I don't understand.
It takes a lot for Jamie to get speechless.
How could you do that to your child?
That's so sad.
Ugh. Some people just are gross.
I agree.
That was really profound. Some people are gross.
I spoke to my dad occasionally, says OP, but I haven't heard anything from my mum or my brothers in 5 years.
Oh my god.
So just like full on, like just forgotten that you exist. Jace and his family expected to meet them at some point when families were visiting college, but nobody showed up for me. Jace's family basically adopted me from that point, I feel like. Well, you know what, OP? I'm so glad you have Jace's family, because that sucks. It really sucks.
Oh no, I'm feeling too emotionally fragile for this kind of story today.
Never. Now that we're both done with college and we're engaged, we live close to Jace's family. His mum and sisters do monthly mother-daughter days, and I'm always included and invited. I was even invited when we'd stop for quick visits previous years, but now that we're living here, they always include me.
Oh, so maybe it's not a problem with his family to do with this, because they're inviting her.
His mum's sisters find it weird. Sorry to burst your bubble there. And they've accused me of inserting myself where I don't belong and getting in the way of the true mother-daughter bonding.
Now, define true mother-daughter bond. If people are like, oh, well, that's like her children, her daughters that she raised, and it's like people can adopt people older. And then also, many people see their in-laws as family, particularly if they have a difficult time with that biological or like legal family in that way.
That's literally why you are a person-in-law.
Yeah.
It's to say like you get treated the same way.
It's beautiful. Like I'd say that my family treat you as if like you're part of the family. Yeah. You're included in like Mother's Day celebrations, Father's Day. Oh, that's my strudel.
I totally agree with you. You don't need to be biologically related, which is kind of where it feels like this is going.
Yeah, or be raised as like a child from birth or young age. It's like you can marry into a family and be treated like a member of the family. You're involved with your in-laws, mothers, fathers' days, birthdays,
Also, wouldn't you want to be? Like, I just think it's a nice thing to do. If you're growing a family, what is the need to be so exclusive?
Yeah.
I appreciate there might be times that you want to, like, just do things as, like, one-on with a mum.
Yeah, like, there's, like, multiple kids to be like, oh, okay, Bethany, let's go out for lunch today, and then next week it's Karen's turn. I don't know why I'm just making them.
Bethany and Karen, whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's, like, a Mother's Day celebration, if you're going to the spa, like, and you get on,
Yeah.
why should this fact that you have married into the family make it any different?
I think it's beautiful when it can work out like that, because you hear so often about, like, you know, monsters-in-law and stuff,
Yeah.
and people really not getting on with their in-laws. And it's not even the mum and the sisters that are finding it weird, it's the aunties.
Oh, his mum's sisters.
Yeah.
You're right.
So it's not
I didn't
even
pick
it's
up
not
on
even
that.
the people that she's spending this time with on, like, the mother-daughter days. It's extended.
Maybe that's why it is. Maybe it's because they don't
Because they're
know
like,
her
what
as
about
well.
me?
So no, I'm just thinking they're like they don't have the same bond that the
Oh.
others would. Let's keep reading.
Yeah.
And we'll see. They told me that I should be letting the others enjoy the day without a daughter-in-law being included because I'm not really her daughter or their sister. That's sad. Jace's mum disagrees, so the person involved disagrees. But the issue has caused trouble between her and her sisters and my future sister-in-laws and their aunts.
Weird.
That's so sad. The aunts told me deep down. They
I'm
sound like
imagining those aunts from James the Giant Peach.
They sound like what are those people that you go and see? The elders, the clerics, the oracles.
Oh.
The aunts told me deep down that my sisters-in-law resent me for being so present during their time with their mum, and they simply don't say it.
Oh, that's like stirring the little pot of shit.
So am I the drama? Well, I guess the question is it true?
No, I have a very easy badge for this.
Not
No,
the drama.
Not the drama.
I'm
Because
with you with that badge.
nobody who is involved in those mother-daughter days out and events, nobody who's actually part of that has told you directly that they are uncomfortable or not happy with your involvement there.
If that is true, I totally agree. Fully not the drama. Aunts, what the frick are you doing? Stay in your lane.
They are the
Stay in your
drama.
lane. They are absolutely the drama. And I wonder if it's coming from them having a resentment towards their daughter-in-laws.
They maybe have a
Maybe
not
they
a
don't
good
like their
relationship.
ones. So they're like, oh,
You don't get a good one. At the same time as well, if it's like mother-daughter events, I'm sure if the sister, like the future sister-in-laws, if they ever wanted some time with their mum just themselves, they can go to their mum and say that.
yeah.
And they can express that to her. If the mum who's like leading these events is this is what she wants, that's what's happening.
And let's be honest, they are inviting you.
Yeah.
You are saying yes to an invite. You're not making yourself, you're not forcing yourself onto it. They are literally saying, hey, come, we're including you, we're inviting you. If they don't want to do that, I'm sure there are times, and I wouldn't be offended. See, it's really difficult because I'm not in a position where there are other girls. Like, you don't have sisters.
Oh yeah. Well,
And likewise.
only on your side.
Yeah, but that's the same. Likewise, like there are no brothers on my side for you to feel
Yeah.
the same way in terms of those like gendered bonding moments.
Yeah.
But if you did have sisters, I would not be offended if I knew that your mum and the girls went out and did their own thing sometimes and
Yeah.
included me in others.
It sounds like OP wouldn't either.
No.
It's just she's been given very, very positive signals by the people that she's actually spending that time with, and nobody's asked her to not be there.
I'm sorry, like who are you? Who
Yeah.
are you, aunts, to get involved? Like, what is it on you if there's an extra person at a spa day that you're not even going to?
Honestly, this might be stirring the pot further. If I were OP, I would speak to my fiance's mum and I'd be like,
Yeah.
look, I love spending time with you. I love this family. You're my family. That's how
If
I view
I'm
it.
overstepping, tell
But,
me.
yes, please tell me if any of you feel uncomfortable or you want me to step back slightly. I would be upset. I'd be like,
But
I
I'd rather
really.
that than resent. I know
Yes.
what you're saying. Yeah, but
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's coming from them.
No.
And the fact that the aunts are not only having this issue, right? For the aunts to let this issue cause an issue between them and their own daughters, that's really
Yeah.
toxic.
Really weird.
And their sister, like the daughter thing in particular, I'm finding really weird. Unless there's like more that we don't know about that OP's like being dodged.
Well,
but it doesn't seem like
based
that's
on
the case.
this, like, not the drama,
Not the
answer the drama.
I agree.
And I think everybody involved need to decide what they want going forward.
Everybody involved
Yeah.
and the aunts can get in the bin.
Yeah, they can get in the bin. If I were the mother in this situation, I'd be like, no, this is what I want to do. If my kids come to me and they say they would like some time, just us, then I will respect that as well. But I want to involve OP. That is what my family structure looks like to me. family. Sisters, go away. You are messing up my family unit for no
feng shui
reason.
is off.
I have so much more time. I don't care about genetics, biology, if you were raised together, if you whatever. I don't care. The importance is that mutual respect and enjoying each other's company.
Exactly, values
If that
and rights.
happens and people are just there to throw shit at you, I don't care if we're related. You can go away.
Say it louder, Jamie. The people.
I
in the
don't
back.
care if we're related.
I'm kidding.
Not the drama. The aunties certainly are. They are. Listen, I'm sure there are times when your mother-in-law wants to just spend time with her daughters, but she's a grown adult, and if she wants to make that happen, she will. And same goes for your sister-in-laws. If they just need mother-daughter time, they can get that themselves as well. As long as you're not turning up uninvited, it's all good.
I think that's the big point.
Yeah.
It's the invite, isn't it? The invite has been given to you. You are simply accepting it. It's not wrong. They could not invite you. They could go and do their own thing. Also, if they do have an issue and they are choosing not to voice it to you and
That's
instead
their
just
problem.
voicing it to the aunts, that's not your problem.
Yeah.
It's their issue that they need to come to you with.
Yeah, it's not yours to solve, and I wouldn't change how you act with people based on a rumour that's come from people that clearly
You're
had
right.
an issue from before.
Definitely
and,
not without
yeah,
verifying.
There's no way to know if the aunts are telling the truth, so I wouldn't
Well, you could.
act on that.
By asking.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that would be in any way pot stirring. I think that would
Okay.
just be, hey, look, I'm feeling a certain kind of way because I'm being told this about you. Like, the aunts are clearly expecting OP to share it in some way.
Or just
Sure,
step
but
back.
even if OP did just step back, there would be questions of, hey, why don't you come to our stuff anymore? And then OP would have to say, because I didn't think you wanted me
Depends on how the family communicates.
there.
Might not.
Healthy communication is...
Key.
Thank you. Hot damn.
Like a baked potato.
Not the drama. Speak to your mother-in-law and tell her everything, including the resentments from your sister-in-laws. Maybe you can do something with mother-in-law without the sister-in-laws. Hold on a second. I think this is like on the assumption, this commenter has absolutely assumed that the sister-in-laws definitely have an issue.
Do have an issue.
It would be worth checking because I don't think we can just trust what aunties say.
Yeah.
I know my fair share about a spicy auntie or two.
Smell a rat.
As for your own family, they are a bunch of nasty a-holes. Try and see your dad alone and explain how the emotional abuse that you suffered has affected you. I don't know, because I also don't think that dad is like a fantastic person in this picture. It's fair if you're still continuing to speak with dad. I think dad didn't get involved then, and I personally, if I was in OP's position, would have a resentment about that too.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any hope that opening myself up like that would
fix this
lead
kind of
to
situation.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this commenter has been like, let me put my therapist hat on.
And it's very sweet. It's very sweet. And honestly, OP, if that's what you want to do, you know, if you're having an issue with your family and that's what you want to solve, fine. But it sounds to me like you actually don't care too much about your family.
Yeah.
They've done bad things to you. You don't need them to be there for you, but it's your future family, your chosen family that you're having this struggle with.
Yeah.
And chosen family is very important. I love chosen family. Ooh, OP's actually responded to this one. My sisters-in-law have never actually said anything. That came from the aunt, so I don't want to say anything about that in case it causes more trouble, especially if they've never said anything to their aunts.
Okay.
It's also confusing and it's left me feeling really crap about it. Well, that's why you need to bring it up. I get concerned sometimes that people don't voice their truth because they're concerned that it's going to be stirring the pot.
I so feel like that all the time.
But
I'm
like, if
no, I
someone
don't
else
want to
has
say
stirred
it.
the pot, then that honesty is going to consummate the pot. You are clearing that broth, baby. Go with my metaphor.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
Consummate
important.
Shit.
Sure.
What I'm thinking here is there's already tension. There's already a rift forming. You speaking and just finding out the truth.
Being honest.
It's just going to get worse and worse anyway if things keep going the way they're going. So you may as well get it all laid out on the table and find out what's been said by who.
I totally agree with you, and I feel like by being honest in that way, as long as the communication can stay within healthy parameters,
Yeah.
this will actually strengthen your boundaries. It will strengthen your relationships with your sisters-in-law and your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Because you could say, you know, like, I'm concerned about this because you guys mean so much to me. I love hanging out with you, you know?
Yeah.
And if nothing else has been said, then that's going to be a really wonderful thing that's going to make everyone appreciate that bond a lot more. What will happen if you don't say anything is that your evil aunt people in the picture here, they are counting on you not saying anything.
Yeah.
If they are just shit stirring,
Yeah.
they're expecting you not to say anything. And that's where it gets really manipulative. Or they are saying something because their kids have said it to them, in which case you should know, because otherwise you're just wasting your time and then feeling like everything's really wonderful when it's not, and you deserve to know.
Yeah.
So I really don't see any badness coming out from you explaining how you genuinely feel about the situation, as long as you do it healthily.
I agree. Totally.
Consummate, baby.
Not the drama. You were invited, so you came. There was no, quote, inserting yourself.
Ooh.
The aunts had nothing to
Steady.
say about it. Steady. That said, the possibility that your sisters-in-law want some time alone with their mother does actually exist, so you might want to excuse yourself from the occasional invitation just in case.
I do agree with the principle of what is being said here, but I do also think that if that's what they wanted, they would just not invite you.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad thing to be like, hey, mother-in-law, sisters-in-law, just want to let you know you are welcome to do some of these things without me, you know, like I won't be offended. I get it that it's like a different tier,
Yeah.
you know, if that's what you want. And then they'll be like,
But-
no, babe.
How do people commenting, and how does OP even know that that doesn't already happen?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to tell her in case it hurts her feelings, but they do just have some time themselves.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so right. I think that was a pretty good one,
I
David.
agree.
Good job.
Yes.
Nice and straightforward. Let's go fishing again. Ooh, drama. Am I the drama for deciding my baby's name even though my husband hadn't agreed on it?
Ooh.
How would you feel if I did this?
Oh, no, you can't do this.
Oh, spill it.
If there's no further context, obviously there is more context to this title, but like that title on its own, no, we don't do this.
Jamie's equipping himself with his badge. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Imagine naming a human being that you created with somebody else without that somebody else. Like
Doesn't
what?
even need to be human being. The amount of conversations we had about our cats' names.
Oh my god. If you brought a puppy home and you were like, here's Donald, I was like, go away, we are naming that dog together.
Unless the dog had come pre-named.
Yes, and we had decided mutually to keep the name that...
Yes, but the mutual's right. I hear you. Read on,
Mutual.
baby. Read on.
I'm a 32-year-old woman, and my husband, a 33-year-old man called Chris, had our daughter about 2 months ago. Oh, a fresh baby.
The way you said it sounded like the husband had the kid.
Oh.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just
he
funny.
could have.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't know. There was a comma, though, so unlikely. We have similar tastes in names, and we agreed upon Lara for a girl pretty early on.
Ooh, as in Croft.
Lara Croft.
We don't hear many Laras.
Lara.
I don't know Lara. Do you know Lara?
No, I don't know a Lara.
Oh, no, I do know Lara.
You do?
What was it, Laura?
Croft.
Ah, Laura.
Ah.
Yes, Laura. I like Laura.
Well,
Jace, Laura.
We found out a year ago that my sister Andrea, a 35-year-old woman, had been diagnosed with cancer. I'm very sorry, I hope she's doing okay. By the time I got pregnant, she was already very sick. At 24 weeks pregnant, she passed away.
Oh.
Okay, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that.
We had not decided on a middle name at that time, but my husband wanted to give Lara his mother's name, Jane, and he was set on it. After Andrea passed away, I wanted Lara's middle name to be Andrea.
Oh, in
that
memory.
makes sense and is very sweet. He said he hated the name Andrea, and it would make more sense to name her after her grandma than an aunt. No, I don't think there's sense there at all.
There's no sense of hierarchy with naming.
No.
You know, if you're naming somebody after someone, it's because you love them, regardless of
Yeah.
who they are or the proximity of relationship to you. I kind of get what he's saying, right? Like, traditionally,
Yeah.
when you see in the movie scenes, they're like, oh, guess what we named the baby? As grandparents are holding the baby,
Yeah.
and they say their name, and then they film them, and they're like, like, I get it. But that's not a reason to not do it. Like, read the room, dude. There's a sensitivity level here.
Yeah, she literally passed away whilst she was pregnant.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like she's saying, oh yeah, I think it'd be a really good idea to put the middle name of our child as our neighbour's dog's.
Well, and also, she's not saying, like, let's make Andrea the first name instead of Lara. It's a middle name.
Yeah.
I would be less fussed about a middle name.
Or
if
you
it's
could
sentimental
multiple
reason.
middle name it, but like regardless of that, my point is I just think it's wrong to be like, oh, well actually, grandparent trumps past sister. Like, why would you even think that that's a good thing to say?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird. This made me upset, understandably. And I told him that his mother was alive and well, and I wanted to remember my sister. I brought up giving her 2 middle names, and he didn't want to do that either.
I think that the 2 middle
Okay.
names is a great compromise.
Yes.
But I will say, as much as I dislike husband for saying that point about the hierarchy, I also think it's a little bit odd to be like, oh, well, I have a dead sister, so I trump your wishes. Like, it should be mutual. I think it's really sweet to want to honour your sister, but your baby's name, first, last, middle, whatever, doesn't need to be the way to do that.
Yeah.
So just as I'm unhappy with the husband using it, I'm also feeling some kind of way about OP here being like, well, your mum's alive and well. Like, my sister's not. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, it could have also come from a place of, like, bitterness of being like...
Well, you're saying it trumps it. Well, actually, the death trumps.
Yeah,
if
it sounds
was
a bit
in
tit for
conversation.
tat
Yeah.
kind of vibe,
Yeah,
and it doesn't
does.
make it right. It's just... It sounds like a sensitive topic
Yes.
that's not being, like, I feel like she's just being shut down at every stop.
I agree.
When she was born, we still hadn't agreed on one, okay? Towards the end of the birthing process, the visuals were a bit too much for Chris and he passed out.
Oh, well.
So when the nurse asked what the name was...
Oh, no.
Oh, dear. I said Lara Andrea whilst he was unconscious. Once he was conscious again, I told him that I put down Lara Andrea. He mumbled, fine. I thought he was okay with Lara Andrea now, but now I realise he was just trying to be nice because I just gave birth.
I mean, I'm sorry, this is not okay.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Do you know what the compromise should have been? No middle name.
Sure.
Sorry.
Or both.
But
Like, what is wrong with both?
If you really, really can't agree to this kind of extent where you spend like the last 3 and a bit months of a pregnancy going back and forward with no compromise being found, and like one person cannot agree and will not agree to having both names, have neither, because at that point it's just so messy that people can't decide.
My mum and dad chose one name each. I don't know if there was any disagreement, but they were like, one of us will choose the first name, one of us will choose the middle name.
Yeah, that's cute. OP carried on. Last month he brought up changing the name to Lara Jane. I said no because we'd already named her, and I brought up doing 2 middle names again.
I wonder if husband is having any influence from mum.
Oh.
Do you think?
Okay, the amount of times that we do these stories, or I just see things on the videos I make and I'm like, his mother.
Yeah.
He cannot,
his
and there's a
mama.
number of times we've been like, he cannot stand up to his mum. And it is if they've got a boy mum and they are the son and they have been like mollycoddled and mummied their whole lives.
You have just blown my mind. This is
I
toxic
feel
boy
like-
mums from the other
Yes.
side. Well, no, but they don't actually have to be toxic boy mums. I think
No,
it's just sometimes like,
sometimes.
it's this bond, isn't it? It's this motherly bond. It's this like psychology behind a new girl, typically
Yeah.
in a cis-het vanilla world,
Cis-het.
right?
This new woman coming in.
the womanhood role. You used to be the most important woman in your son's life, and now it's someone else. And there's
Yeah.
like this big
And
envy and resentment.
Sometimes the son's not being able to make that division.
Yes.
And recognize that in certain circumstances, like naming your child, it's between you and your wife, not you and your mother.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they want to keep mummy happy.
Oh,
Oh, even me saying mummy there just sounded like really weird to me.
are you my mummy?
Mummy's boys. That's what it
Mummy's
is. It's a
boys.
mummy's boy.
See, I am not a mummy's boy like this.
To be fair, your mum isn't a mummy's boy mummy,
No.
but you're also not a mummy's boy.
Yeah, I have a close relationship with my mother, but it is a healthy, respectful one where she does not encroach on my life with my partner.
But I would not be surprised if Jane over here is like, oh, such a shame. I don't know why I've given Jane that name.
She sounds a bit fragile. He got mad at me and we've been arguing about this practically every day. That is not how you want to start being new parents.
Yeah.
This is really making me quite sad and angry.
Yeah.
He keeps calling her Lara Jane.
Wow.
He still doesn't want to do double middle name. I feel our family and friends are biased because they either knew Andrea or know Jane. I feel like maybe I should have done a double middle name or put down Jane, and I'm wondering if I should change it. I feel like I might be in the wrong here for ignoring his opinion and taking advantage of the fact he was unconscious to choose the name I wanted. So, am I the drama?
Yes.
Yes, but
I'm going with
my bad. Everyone
everybody
sucks.
here. Yes,
Yeah.
same, absolutely.
Yes.
I do think that maybe, I'm just going to say it, OP sucks more. If we're having to tilt the scale one way or the other, the fact that you actively made that decision
Yeah.
and put it down when he was unconscious, I would feel really disrespected.
Yeah.
I would feel not only like you don't care about my opinion, but also that you took advantage of me being in a really fragile state
Yeah.
to do that. And I appreciate
She's
the
just
irony
given birth.
in saying that she's
Yeah.
just given birth and he was just like fainting.
But no,
from
it's
the sight
taking
of it.
advantage of the fact that he was unconscious.
Yeah, it's not okay. And it's a lot harder to then sort of go back. I do stick with it. I wouldn't be surprised if Grandmama Jane is like, oh dear. But also,
Well, she's gotten even more fragile in the last 5 minutes.
I also wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Opie's husband's motivation here to name baby Lara Jane and saying Lara Jane is coming from a place of resentment that you just went ahead and did that.
I hear you.
It doesn't
but-
make it right.
Yeah, at the
Absolutely,
same time
I
though,
hear you.
because where my head went was also maybe OP is slightly more the drama here because it sounds like the middle name switch happened further into pregnancy. But I just read back that she said they hadn't decided on a middle name at the time that her sister passed.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like
It's
it
the
was Jane
husband,
and then they switched it.
but the husband, even at that time before they had decided themselves, was set on Jane. It's like he had picked this out from the very beginning. Soon as they knew they were having a girl, he'd gone, Jane is the middle name, that is it, and he wasn't prepared to budge. We've had a discussion. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about our choices, but say there was a middle name that was particularly important for me to use, but something happened with something to do with you, and you were like, no, I'd really like this name because it now has very like meaningful, timely sentiment. I'm going to be like, okay, but also, sure, because like, it's a name. Like,
you don't need to pick just one.
You can do two.
That's what I'm so confused about this. Like, multiple times, OP's gone, hey, why not both? Let's make both of us happy. I want to honour my sister in this way. You want to show respect to your mum. Yeah. Let's do both.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd do both. Yeah, that would just be the compromise. That just sounds like the
perfect compromise. Yeah. But the issue is coming from the fact that OP's husband actively dislikes the name Andrea.
But nobody ever, like, my middle name is Anthony. The only time I ever use that name is when I have to write down what is on my passport. Yeah. You know?
And also, it's so weird that, like, the name that we have is the one thing that we don't pick for ourselves. As soon as that kid is able to, if they want to change it, you picked your name. Very different reasons, though, to be fair. But, you know, like, it's your kid's name. So it's so weird to put, like, this much emphasis on something that ultimately...
They could grow up and change anyway.
Like, it's not really to do with you. It's always to do with your squish.
Yeah.
So, like, why wouldn't you want your squish to be honoured by both sides of
the
family?
I like how you now call babies squish.
Yeah.
Squishes.
They're tiny little squishy things. Call a spade, call squish squish.
Call a squish. Yeah, I think it either needs to be two middle names or no middle names. I will say, objectively, I think Lara Jane sounds better than Lara Andrea.
But Lara Jane Andrea...
Lara Jane Andrea Smith could be fine. And honestly, like, my head is fried because I'm like, on one sense, I can see the sentimental importance for both parties. But on the other hand, it just feels like they are both so stuck on this concept.
You're so right.
And they've made a mountain out of a molehill because they couldn't agree.
But not just that.
The stubbornness.
Your squish right now is doing cute things. They're going to be opening their eyes for the first time, kicking for the first time, dribbling for the first time.
I thought babies were born with their eyes open.
No. Are they? I remember being like, oh my god, she's opened her eyes. About my sisters.
Hold on.
30 babies open their eyes at birth. The remainder, except 3, open their eyes ranging from within 1 minute to 20 minutes.
It is basically at birth.
No, it's not at birth.
It's within 20 minutes,
like, oh
Shaaba.
God, they've opened their eyes. No, like,
20 minutes?
It's
not like walking.
I know.
It's a thing.
I'm just saying there are so many moments that are so special in that newborn phase.
I completely agree.
That you are arguing every day when you've literally just popped a person out of you and your husband has fainted because he realizes what a big deal that is, and you're both going to be heckin' tired. Why?
It seems, I don't want to call it such a trivial thing because I understand there's a loaded sentimentality about it. But at the same time, it does.
It is trivial.
It feels so trivial to argue this much and to be spending this much time on it.
The choices of the names are not trivial. What makes it trivial is the fact that you're like, oh, well, I don't like it, so... Like, there's no compromise. Like, grow up. You are a father. Okay, I redact what I said before. I was saying that I think OP is more the drama. I think husband is more the drama. Because, yes, she was very wrong. I think that was the biggest wrong, was to just do it without saying. But also, husband seems to have done that anyway. And he is the one that's not being able to offer any solution whilst ignoring the compromise of the double name.
My question as well is, this is totally pointless, really, but just a hypothetical exercise. Do we think husband would have done the same thing if it were him alone putting the names on the birth certificate? Would he have done Jane?
It honestly could happen. Like, I've seen so many examples of this because I've been looking at birth certificates and how that works in, you know, like different family setups.
Yeah.
And you only need one parent to do it. That's why so many people have, like, spelling mistakes.
I've heard of...
In my incredibly close family, the only reason they have their surname is because it's a spelling mistake from a couple of generations before.
Holy poop.
And it just sticks.
What a fun fact. I still personally, in this specific scenario, it's a very close call. I still think OP, because of what they've come to the forum to ask as well, is still slightly more the drama because they actively did that. I think that's just one of those things in a relationship you just do not do. This is literally your first child, and it doesn't matter, it could be your 12th child. That naming process, if you are still in a relationship with each other and you are still going to raise that child together, even if you're not in a relationship, if you're still going to raise that child together and both of you are going to be involved in that child's life, you both choose and agree on the name. If you cannot agree, you come up with something completely different. And if you can't agree on the one name either or, like, just go for something totally different. Go for Lara Bob. Like, honestly, remove that, because you are both just being incredibly stubborn and I am annoyed at both of you.
Go to your room, parents.
Yes.
I do think, though, like, what I'm really struggling with is I've not seen anything that shows that OP's husband has any respect for why OP is wanting that name.
Yeah.
And that's what's really pissing me off. When OP is honestly trying to find a compromise. She's like, hey, I was wrong.
Yeah.
She said, I might have been in the wrong here for ignoring that opinion and taking advantage of the fact that you're unconscious. I hope she's apologised to him about it, but she's also gone, hey, let's find a way to work through this. You want Jane? I don't have a problem with that. Let's do both. What is wrong with saying yes? I'm trying to think, like, if there was a name that I really, really didn't like and you were like, I want this as a middle name, if it was so important to you and had this sentimental value, not just for being a random name, I probably wouldn't accept it then. Yeah. Because you're right, like, it should be a mutual decision. But if you had, like, a great grandma who you were so close to and her name was like Gertrogatha, I would be like, okay, babe, I get it. Not as first name. Like, let's also come up with another name that goes before that. But sure, the Gertrogatha. Let's do it.
I've decided then I would really like, if we have a daughter, for her name to be a first name double barrel of my two grandmas.
Ruth, Agnes.
Yeah.
Okay, but those are actually both really cute little old lady names.
I also think, like, Agnes is such a cute name.
It Despicable Me did it.
Yeah.
With, like, the little, so flurry, I'm good at Harry.
Ruth is cute too, but Agnes kind of trumps it. Also, I knew my grandma Agnes better.
Interestingly, I don't think we needed to even say, well, who sucks more. I still think everybody sucks here. But we are differing on that, but that's okay. The point is, you both suck. Do better.
Yeah. For
yourselves, for your parenthood journey, and for your squish.
Yeah. Look, I know we're not trying to play, like, Olympics of, like, who comes higher in a hierarchy, an alive mother or a dead sister, because that's just a horrible discussion and thing to be conversing over. But honestly, if you had lost a really close family member and you wanted to honour them with a middle name of our child, it would be a no-brainer for me. It would absolutely knock using, like, my mum's name as a middle name, which we're not even discussing that possibility, because I just don't think it would flow very well. But, like, I don't need to do that if there was a reason.
But my point is, it doesn't need to be a choice. Do both.
Yes.
Do both.
That is the ultimate end goal.
You can both win. Why don't you want that?
Yeah.
Husband. Why?
Husband is the drama for just being stubborn and not taking compromise.
And not providing another solution.
Yes. And OP is the drama for naming the child without his knowledge.
Totally agree with that. See what other people have
I'm
to say.
interested to see what other people have to say.
A couple of things, says a commenter. You tried to compromise, I think, in the best way by giving her two middle names.
Yes.
His utter refusal does indeed make him an arsehole.
Yes.
But you had the name on paper when he was passed out rather than waiting, which was intentionally sneaky and also makes you the arsehole. Yes. So neither of you are willing to find a middle ground and you're fighting over a baby girl's name. My advice, stop bickering. You got a new baby girl and that should be the cause of happiness and celebration. But the two of you are ruining that for each other. Isn't there some biblical story about splitting a child in two?
Oh.
Is there? The judgment of Solomon?
Was this a thing? I mean, I don't really know much about biblical stories, but...
An eye for an eye makes whole world blind, that sort of thing. Like, you're both robbing yourself of the experience of doing this because you're both trying to be mean to each other.
Well, not trying to be mean to each other, but you're both just being incredibly stubborn.
Sabotage with the ignoring, and now husband sabotaging by disrespecting what Baby Squish's name actually is.
Yeah. Thinking about it more, I still agree with my badge and my verdict, but I struggle more to get my head round his utter refusal of two middle names than I do with OP, because I can honestly see we make bad choices when we are in certain situations. You had just given birth and you made a bad choice in a moment that you have now recognized the wrongdoing in and you are trying to correct. I can get my head round how that happened.
But husbands is just irrational.
But husbands is just irrational, does not make sense, and has no worth in being an opinion, and he needs to get in the bin.
Put a lot of people in the bin today, Jamie.
Everybody's going in the bin.
God.
The wheelie bin.
Everybody sucks here.
You are both stubborn, and while I can understand that you're grieving your sister, your husband is understandably upset. It also seems never to have been a point what the name could mean to your child, the person who lives with that name you're giving her.
But both are beautiful names.
Yes.
So it's fine. So have both.
Yeah.
Or you can eat buffet the names, baby.
Yeah, and like Jane isn't that long. It can tap onto like Lara's a short name, Jane is a short name. You can afford to have a third name that's a bit longer. Andrea.
It would be Andrea Jane, right? Not Jane Andrea. That doesn't
Lara,
sound right.
Andrea, Jane.
Yeah.
Lara, Jane, Andrea. Jane, Andrea.
Lara, Andrea, Jane.
Lara, Jane, Andrea.
It depends if you're going Lara Jane, Andrea Smith, or Lara, Andrea Jane Smith.
Oh.
OP has actually responded here and said, thank you for the replies and suggestions. Most of them were either you are the drummer or everybody sucks here, which I both understand. I apologise to Chris. The most liked name combo on Name Nerds was Andrea Jane. We are thinking of renaming her this as a compromise and calling her Andy or Drea. Wow. So now they're considering literally changing
the name.
Lara as a name.
Wait a second.
Do you know what? Hey, if this is what you are considering and this is a compromise that you've come to, fine. It confuses me because the husband seems to really dislike the name Andrea, but at least both of your wishes are being...
My brain wants more information as to how the husband went from, I hate the name Andrea, I don't want two middle names, I just definitely don't want Andrea being the middle name or any combination, we are having one middle name and it's going to be Jane, and he's gone from that to being like, oh, Andrea first name, Jane middle name.
Well, to be fair, he is still saying there's going to be one middle name and it's going to be Jane, but Andrea is going to be the first name, which I understand he didn't like, but I wonder, truly, if the apology had anything to do with it. As I said, maybe. I wonder if he was really strong in that opinion, not about the name, but because he felt really disrespected at the fact that it was so sneaky.
He always said he didn't like the name.
Sure, but then he was like, fine, and then he was like, no, and like totally recoiled and started calling the kid Lara Jane, right? So... I don't know. This is odd, but you do you.
Yeah, Andy's cute.
Andy's really cute.
Yeah.
Oh, like a Very Devil Wears Prada. Drama.
Am I the drama for not kicking my friends out of my house when my nephews came over? Very vague.
For not kicking my friends out of my house. Okay.
That's too vague. Let's read.
I'm a 26-year-old woman, says OP, and this happened yesterday. And so far, my family keeps saying that I'm in the wrong.
Okay.
I was spending my first Saturday off in weeks planning an outing with my friends, but at the last minute, my sister asked if I could babysit my twin 9-year-old nephews. No! No! Since her mother-in-law was having a medical emergency and they had to go to the hospital. Okay, so fair. It was a last-minute request that is very urgent. I understand. I agreed because I know her mother-in-law has heart issues and she's already had a pacemaker put in. Even if you didn't know that, I feel like a hospital trip is a hospital trip.
Yeah.
Look after the damn nephews, you know?
Yeah.
So I cancelled my plans, says OP, and my brother-in-law brought the kids over. Since some of my friends were already over, they helped me watch my nephews and we did some family-friendly activities like watching Scooby-Doo, ordering pizza, and playing around with my child-safe face paints along with some Mario games.
Okay.
That sounds
wholesome.
So fun.
I
Yeah.
also wouldn't want to last-minute care for two twins on my own.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you had plans, makes sense.
Yeah.
And, I see where it's going now, the title. It's just clicked with me. All right. It wasn't the weekend I planned, but it was fun and my nephews and friends enjoyed themselves too. Thankfully, my friends have met the twins before at events that I've invited them to, so I didn't think it was an issue that I didn't chase them out of my home the moment that the boys were dropped off. Question. The brother-in-law must have known that they were there. They must have seen them in some capacity, right? Because he dropped the kids off.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was like consciously aware that friends were in the house.
Yeah, good question. Let's find out.
Or if he's in such a tizzy because he was on the way to the hospital.
Yeah, he might not have even thought about it.
When my brother-in-law and sister came later that night to pick up the kids, they were surprised to see my friends there, and my brother-in-law asked if they just came back.
Oh, what? So maybe he assumed they were going to leave as soon as the kids arrived.
Right. I explained they didn't, and that we just made a day of taking care of the kids. They both gave me looks and took the kids home. Me and my friends pulled out the wine and some ice cream and decided to watch horror movies.
And good job you didn't do that when the 9-year-olds were there.
Yes, but also, that sounds amazing. You had a day of face painting and pizza with the kids,
and Mario.
And now you're doing ice cream and horror movies also with your friends.
Love
so
it.
Cute. Midway through, I got a text from my sister demanding to know why I let strangers around her children without letting her know. I told her that she dropped the kids on me last minute and she knows the 4 who would come over today and that 2 of them live at least an hour away from us, so sending them back would have been rude. I agree.
I'm trying to put a parent hat on this.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Because we're not parents.
I think I would have been taken aback if I didn't know, and it might be like OP is saying, look, there have been events where they've all been around each other before. They've met the twins, but it might be that the parents weren't aware. I would probably say, hey, yes, I can, but just so you know, I had my friends over, so it will be all of us.
They've driven far, and I can't send them home at this point.
Yeah, I can't rearrange this at such short notice, so please do drop them off, but know that I've got my friends round. Should we read on?
Yeah.
Okay. My brother-in-law also messaged me saying that he felt uncomfortable that I allowed strange women to touch his children. That is
what?
Such
Are they talking about the face painting?
Weird wording.
That's really uncomfortable.
Ew. Like, are you telling me that you've never taken your kids to get face paint before? Or gone to the doctors? Or
had a haircut. Does this mean they wouldn't trust OP to take the boys out for a day at the fun fair? Because they're interacting with strangers.
Oh yeah, because someone else is going to have to buckle in their child into a ride.
Someone else is going to have to do the seatbelt. They might get face painting done.
It's odd. Anyway, OP goes on to say, they literally know my friends' husbands and wives. I don't get why they're making a big deal about it, but today I woke up to more messages of how I endangered the kids by having them around strangers, and worst, alcohol in the house.
But they weren't drinking the alcohol whilst the kids were there. Unless the parents are completely no alcohol, I would assume that a majority of adults who are above the legal drinking age would have some. We don't drink and we have a couple bits in the cupboard.
But also, like, babe, you dumped your kids on somebody else. I get it, you're in a difficult position. Some compromises need to be made. You didn't go and say, hey, these are the boundaries that I have. There was no time for that. So why are you expecting someone else to magically be able to meet these boundaries that you didn't even set?
It's not like she'd had no plans and then you dropped the kids off to her that was pre-arranged and then she invited people over that she barely knew.
It's a sister, right? You trust your sister. So therefore you should trust that your sister's going to do what's right for...
I'm trying to put myself in the perspective. Imagine if we had kids or a kid and we asked your sister last minute to look after them. And then we found out later that already way pre-planned, because ours was last minute, she'd had a couple friends like from uni, they'd driven a couple hours to come see her.
Her boyfriend.
Like
whoever.
And I don't know if I'm going to sound weird. I would trust your sister to make a good judgment about who she lets around our kids because I'm trusting her
with the child.
With the children.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And I feel like, sure, you may be strapped last minute in like not really having a choice, but if you're doing that and nothing bad did happen and they're not bad people, like as OP has said, you know, like you were only doing family friendly activities.
Yeah.
What's the issue?
Yeah, I don't understand what the issue is. Where it's weird is if you hired a babysitter and they brought their friends. That's weird.
Or if it was pre-planned even with the sister, and because it was pre-planned, they were then like on a whim, oh yeah, and I invited my friends over. That would be odd. I do think it maybe was a faux pas on OP's point of view to not say that there would have been people there. I would want to know. I would want to be fully informed, knowing where my kid is, to have that image of, oh yes, it's my sister and her friends.
But what did brother-in-law expect? He dropped the kids off with the friends there. What's the difference between them spending half an hour extra there and then the whole day?
And then if you have that as an issue, then you say, oh, but they're leaving, right? If that's something that you want to do, but you didn't set those boundaries, so why should OP know to magically...
I, as OP, would have assumed it was okay then. I wouldn't have even thought about it because I'd have been like, okay, well, their dad dropped them off. He's happy with the setup. He's gone.
Because,
done.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have appreciated knowing, but even if I didn't know, that's when I'd have been like a bit weird, but I still trust you. Yeah. Because I'm trusting you with the freaking children. Yeah. So that's my thinking. OP says we got drunk and posted pictures around midnight. I don't remember much beyond the Insta post. Most of our relatives are saying that I prioritise my friends over my nephew's safety, and I'm confused as the only one on my side is weirdly my sister's mother-in-law, who turns out was never at the hospital, so I don't know where my sister and brother-in-law were all day yesterday. That's so weird.
This is bizarre.
What? I don't know. The twins were dropped off on me at the last second. My friends are known by the family. We never drank or did anything adult until after the kids went home. Did I seriously f up here? I'm very confused. No, I don't think you're the drama. I will also say, just because you got drunk afterwards has nothing to do with what you do when the kids are in your care.
Parents get drunk when their kids are in bed.
I'm sure policemen, teachers, all of these people that expect to hold a professional opinion, like when there's actually that trend going around at the moment. Have you seen the person you think you're writing the email to and the person you are? Like, we all do things within different contexts. Why are you judging your sibling for getting drunk afterwards? Are you telling me these parents have never done anything to let loose and party? Yeah, whether it involved alcohol or not. Like, and then where were they?
Do you know what else? The friends are known by the family. These are not strangers.
I agree with you.
These are people that brother-in-law and sister would have met before, that the twins have probably met before.
Do you know what? Here's my thinking. 1, you didn't mess up. 2, even if the parents feel that you messed up, I would, again, maybe there was a tiny mess up actually in OP not really saying, just so you know,
straight up,
I have friends here, right? But whatever. At the end of the day, I don't think that that's enough to warrant calling you the drama in this situation whatsoever. If the parents have an issue with that, they can choose not to babysit with you again. No big deal. Yeah. Then like nothing bad has to come out of this. That's okay. Yeah. If that's what they want to do, okay.
There's multiple things about this that are so bizarre though, because it's the fact that like, where were they if they lied?
Get my detective hat on that.
And also the thing the brother-in-law said about feeling uncomfortable that strange women were allowed around his children and to touch them.
Very weird.
Like, it either needs to be communicated to OP that maybe something did happen and that's why there's a bit of a bizarre reaction and some bizarre statements being said that she wasn't aware of, and the twins were uncomfortable in some way with her friends.
But there doesn't seem to be.
But that doesn't seem to be, because you'd think that would be the first thing that would be said. Like, oh, do you know what they've just said happened? Blah, 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 blah.
But no, they clearly have said why they feel uncomfortable is because on the Instagram later, I sound so old, on Insta later, they've said, we saw that you guys got drunk afterwards.
Were the twins in that photo? No. And it's not like they went home going, we watched the Saw movies. Like, it's...
You played Mario Kart and got your face painted, babe. You had a good time. You're cool, auntie. Deal with it, parents. And the hypocrisy of the fact that they lied.
Yeah.
And now they're having a go at you for what? Looking after the children well. Tell me what your issue is.
I'm like, there's so many other contexts. I understand wanting to make sure that your kids are safe and responsibly looked after, but you clearly trust the sister enough to do this, right? OP, like, has enough trust in her to be trusted with the kids.
This has been an episode of 3 very weird parents.
Very weird. Does that mean that then these parents shelter their kids from all scenarios where they could interact with people that they don't know? And it's not even as if OP's friends are strangers, but let's just put it in that context. So that means don't take them out places. Don't let them speak to people on the plane. I don't know what they're called.
Air people.
Flight attendants.
I thought you meant people made out of air. Like from the Disney movie Elemental.
None of those water people either. No, what I'm saying is I'm so stuck on this thing of like, so what, you don't send your kids to like after school clubs and like sports clubs where there are other parents present who may get involved with helping out with how it's run and all of this stuff. Like there's so many situations where strangers will interact with your kids, but where it's okay because there is an adult there that you do trust to be in charge of the whole situation.
I think what's happening is you're trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. And what typically happens is it doesn't make sense because it's not the full picture.
Something's going on.
There's a lie. There's something else going on. They're weird. It's fine.
I really need to hear what other people have said.
Should we see?
Yes, please.
Oh, we have an info request. Somebody's asked, why did this require the presence of the daughter-in-law and not just her own son? Why was the daughter-in-law going to the hospital? Which is fair. Like if you have children.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think.
It's fine though. I think if you both want to go because you want to go to emotionally support something as big as an apparent hospital visit.
Or you can take the kids. They're 9.
Yeah, but also like fair enough if you're like, you know what, there's so much going on here. Something might be going horribly wrong. Let's just let the kids be safe in an environment so that we can focus on the adult duties of looking after mother-in-law. I get it, but it's a fair question.
Yeah.
And Opie's responded
saying, turns out she never had an emergency anyway, so I don't even know where they were all day. And then someone replied to that. I know. So they lied to you, used you, and then attacked you. No.
I agree, but where were they?
Yeah, where were they?
Tell me.
I need like a TV series about this one. Not the drama. If you're trusted to look after their kids, then I thought you'd be trusted to not bring them around people who are likely to endanger children. Have you let them know that you know they lied about going to the hospital?
That's the big question.
Do they know that you know that they lied?
That is the series finale. Opie's responded saying, not yet. I'm meeting up with my sister and mother-in-law because she says she thinks she knows where they were.
Oh, juicy. Report back, OP. So the one that they were supposed to be seeing in hospital thinks she knows where they were instead.
And now they're having like a juicy spill the tea lunch.
Ooh.
No, the drama. I need to find out more. Can we find out more? Oh, there's an update. So people wanted an update on what happened after I spoke to my sister's mother-in-law. Basically had to force the truth out of my sister and brother-in-law by threatening to call her parents. And well, the reason they wanted me to babysit was extremely stupid.
Oh my God.
Let me just give you guys some info on my sister and brother-in-law. Before they had the twins, they were into swinger scene. After they were born, they stopped. And that's what they told everyone. Turns out once the twins were old enough to be left alone, they would have mother-in-law babysit whilst they went off to clubs. She figured it out and refused to babysit anymore, so they moved on to our parents, who also said the same thing, and they threatened to stop helping them pay the mortgage on their house if they didn't stop being better parents. So that left me, apparently. They've used me to watch the twins to go out with couples before, but this time was a last-minute date that they had, so they lied about mother-in-law's health.
Oh, that is not okay. I'm not saying that as soon as you become parents, all like that side of your life has to just completely be neglected if that is what you're into, but you can't be using your family like that regardless of what the reason is that you're going out so much. You have had children. You cannot just be like dumping your kids constantly on family members.
Hire a babysitter.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do. But also don't disrespect people by lying to them.
Yeah.
That I would be so furious. And I'd be like, oh my God, is my mother-in-law. Your mother-in-law, okay.
How did they think that she wouldn't find out that it was a lie?
There's more to this.
Oh.
The thing that started all of this was due to one of our aunts seeing them that day with the other couple, and they were afraid of this getting back to me or our parents, who'd already told them that they'd stop helping them with the mortgage if they kept up with the swingers lifestyle whilst the twins were still little. I do think that's a bit crappy of the parents. Like, it's not your job to dictate what they do as parents.
I don't know if it's judgment on the lifestyle or if it's a judgment on
how they're looking after
their kids. Because it could be that, like, they're not going to pay their mortgage if they kept up the frequent vacationing and dumping their kids on people. Like, I don't know if it's specifically
if it's about the swinging thing in particular. I don't think that's very fair.
But if it's because of how frequently they leave their kids with other people, then that's a different thing.
So when they saw me posting pictures later that night, they decided to lie and said that I invited people over after I agreed to watch the twins for the week so they could have a Valentine's child-free week, and spread this through the grapevine.
I would be so done with them. I would be so... No, that is it.
They hoped that people would be too busy being furious at me for being an irresponsible adult enough that our aunt would be too busy with the family drama to remember what she saw that day. So yes, this was the BS they pulled on me. Whoa! Mother-in-law was with me when I told my parents, who are livid that my sister lied to them. The parents are telling the rest of our relatives through the family chat what happened. Now everybody knows.
Wow.
And they're probably not going to have a mortgage.
And this is why it didn't make sense. Because I was like, why is everybody so angry at OP? And OP was like, why is everybody so angry at me? I don't see how I've messed up here. It was friends that everybody knows anyway, and the kids have seen them before. It's because they lied about the situation. They're
going to talk to my sisters and brother-in-law later, so I have no idea how that's going to go. But yeah, apparently they made up the whole lie just to cover up the fact that they went out with another couple and dumped the twins on me for it. And OP said, I don't care that they're swingers. I'm just annoyed that they lied to get me to watch the nephews. I totally agree. And then like made you feel bad about it. No.
And made the whole family mad at you about it.
This was hella juicy. I'm sorry. I'm so glad that it was sorted. I feel like I've got an adrenaline rush because I feel like I'm on OP's side to be like, yeah, OP, your truth is out there. You're okay. Wow.
This is why my head was so like, I'm trying to make sense of why this is problematic. Let me put myself in a parent's position, because it just did not make sense to me why known friends to the family would be treated as such like dangers to the children.
That was juicy, dude.
Because they were made out to be. But the brother and sister-in-law probably didn't even say that they knew the friends that were there. They probably made up that they were complete strangers and were...
Forget it, babe. Sorry, this is like long and you're going on and on.
I'm done.
Are you feeling better now that you know the truth? I'm really glad we got our detective on. I think what we need to do is create an episode of this podcast where we do updates for some of the things that we see. You know how Gordon Ramsay goes back to revisit his kitchen nightmares? Let me know if you'd be into that, Peaches. For now, though, thank you so much for joining us for what I believe has been one of our spicier episodes.
I would say so, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, I have an adrenaline rush.
Honestly, I feel so happy though, OP, that your name has been cleared, because that was just weird.
It was very not fair. Thank you so much for listening though, and if you are listening on a podcast platform, please do give the podcast a little rate. You can also rate individual episodes, and it all helps us out massively, so we'd be really appreciative of that.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribing and giving the video a little thumbs up, so feel free to do that, and you're very welcome, Peaches, to leave a little comment downstairs. Just remember to be kind, and whilst we didn't do one in this episode, as you guys know, we do listen and read out and help you out with some of your dramas too, so if you'd like to submit one,
yes, you can go over to our website shaabaandjamie.com and submit it on the podcast page, or you can go give us a follow over on Instagram at 1-800-DRAMA-POD.
Amazing. Thanks again for listening. Be kind.
Much love.
And have a great day. Bye.